Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. A couple of weeks ago, I did some more grafting and raised a few more queen cells. I don't have that many. So what I'm going to do with these queen cells, what I had in mind, was to replace the queens of some of the colonies that I am less confident about going through the winter with. By that I mean I've got bees of my Saskatraz bees. They go through the winter pretty well. My Italian bees less well. Also, I'm not so keen on these Italians that I've got in terms of relative to my other bees. These are less tolerant of disturbance and that sort of thing. And these queens are also are a little older, about 18 months old, maybe a year old. Although these bees have done pretty well for me this year, in most cases, I'm going to take some hives that either were small or were Italians, and I'm going to just replace them with the genetics from hive that I really liked, that did really, really well from. Got a couple of £100 from really, really gentle bees. So I'm putting a new queen cell into those hives, these hives here, to supersede the old queen. So I'm going to leave the old queen in place and put a queen cell in its place so that it can grow on and become the new queen of the hive. Basically, it acts just like a supersedure event. We'll put a cell protector on the queen cell to make sure the bees don't tear it down, and when this new virgin emerges, the bees won't harm it, but when that virgin finds the old queen, she'll replace her. So it's a great, very, very simple way to requeen a hive without having to find the queen. Okay, we're going to leave this one alone. The only reason I'm leaving it alone, right now I've consolidated it, giving it its best chance. It's got some resources in here. It's part of the monitoring program, so I want to keep going and see if we can get it to rally. Let's look at the next one. Smoke. Got these right up to the top here. Not a great deal. They're working on these frames. There was honey in here, but there hasn't been much of a flow recently. So we're just gonna keep it going, take it apart. Oh, about 25 pounds of honey in there, maybe 30. This one's pretty full. Oh. Another 30. Now I under-supered here. These were relatively empty before. There's about 15 pounds in here. Maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds in there. So, with the requeening, I can see I've got plenty of brood in here, lots of brood for that matter. But what I want to do is replace the genetics here. I've had no problem with that queen, but I prefer my other ones. So let's have a look. This is day 14 since I did the graft. We had very low success rate from this one because I accidentally shook a queen into this cell builder, and in fact, believe it or not, I shook 2 queens from hives that I donated brood from. Not brood, but young workers from. And although we found the queen in the original hive, and I made sure the queen was to one side, we then shook frames from other frames with bees into here. And what happened? These were I happened to pick hives that had 2 queens. Wouldn't you know it? You don't get too many hives with 2 queens. But when you do, you obviously end up making cell builders from them. Okay, so now that cell is protected, the bee, I can put this into the hive and it will emerge from the bottom as normal, and it will be perfectly, it'll be as if a supersedure event is taking place. So now let's open up a bit of room there with my hive tool. Okay, so now it's hanging in just the right spot. That will become the new queen of the hive. Now I can put it back together. I don't have to find the queen or anything. That's one. And you do the same thing to the colony behind it. This hive and this hive were a little bit pissy, at least earlier in the season. So they've got the lower threshold for being aggressive. That's one thing I don't want to breed from. A hive I and breeding from. Super calm. As I said, made lots of honey. And there's a good overwintering characteristics. Not that these bees haven't produced some honey. But producing honey isn't the only characteristic you want in your bee yard. So I'm replacing. Okay, time for the next queen. See plenty of cap brood in there. Again, the performance of that queen was great, but that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to mark the entrance of those hives. We've got a new queen. And this one. nice and protected. Going in the top of this brood chamber, well away from any mite treatments. In fact, these mite treatments are done now. Trying to be very gentle. I still don't want to knock that queen pupa or very young queen down to the bottom of the cell. Although now that we're at day 14, the cells are getting a little more tolerant of being moved around. They're very, very delicate. For the week before this, I have to be very careful, but day 14, 15 is okay. Day 15 is problematic just in case you have any early emergers. So that's why I'm doing it on day 14. Mark this hive. New queen. Now, normally, I would have preferred to have done this at the end of July instead of the middle of August. Reason being, it would give the queen more time to mate in better conditions. Although, in the next week, she should be able to mate next week with no problems. But also, now the overwintering cluster is going to be partly this queen's progeny, and partly the new queen's progeny. bees coming in. We're starting to get some flow again. I have a hunch we may just get a goldenrod honey flow after all. Can't smell it yet. That'll be the what tells us for sure. And we'll do one more before we do the cell builder itself. And finally, we're just going to put this frame back in here and let the last queen cell emerge. So, put these back here. This last queen cell goes back in here. See, they're still half full. So that's my hive. That's the queen cells that I've made second time round that I had available to requeen some of my hives. Next year I'm going to do it earlier in the season, probably July, so I can requeen more of my Italian hives for overwintering, assuming I've got a few spare. Anyway, I'm happy with that. I like the genetics that I'm putting into the these ones as replacements, and if worst came to worst and that queen didn't replace the old queen, well, they're not too bad as it is, but what I'm looking to do is replace those queens. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.